Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. In the last episode we got our research station headed towards Duna, so now let's actually make the trip. Well, the first thing we're going to need to do is do our transfer burn on our ore hauler here. And as we so often do, we want to do the burn close to our Perry here. Why do we always do a burn at our Perry? Well, actually I may want to fix the inclination first a little bit. Like so. And like that. Why do we always do a burn near our Perry? Well, kinetic energy is velocity squared, so the faster you're going, the more you get. And the closer you are to the planet, the less gravitational potential energy you have, and therefore the faster you're going, because all of the gravitational potential energy becomes kinetic energy. Now, why do you get more energy? Where is that energy coming from? Well, it's coming from the gravitational potential energy of your propellant. If you burn some propellant way up here, it's a long ways up from Kerbin, and it's going to fall towards Kerbin here, or whatever gravity well you're in. I mean, this is fine. It'll fall towards, whatever gravity well you're in, and you're not getting anything out of that energy. It's just causing the propellant to accelerate as it falls inward. But if you fall towards the planet here, and then you burn, you're getting something out of that energy. So let's just do our transfer burn here. Well, we're pretty close. Just pin our separation here. We can see it's still going down as we continue to burn a little bit more. Okay, and there's an encounter. In fact, we can optimize this a little bit. 21 million. Well, that's good enough for an initial burn, to be sure. Node in 1 day and 1 hour, okay. Well, let's just get on our target and warp to next maneuver. There we are, and here we go. And I'm going to wait a little bit longer until about like 30 seconds. There we go. And then just maybe 2/3 throttle. And we can time warp a little bit. It would be nice to have automatic target following. I do understand why they added this experience system. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. And you can, of course, mod the game. You can get Kerbal Engineer, you can get all sorts of handy mods. I'm not using any mods at the moment. I found that I don't really need to use a lot of mods. Kerbal Engineer, I guess, or something would have prevented me not having quite enough delta V to land the ore hauler on the Mun. Let's just do our correction burn here. It would have prevented that, but, well, it's not a big deal. Okay. Well, we don't need to get too close with our burn here. Okay, just pin the parry here. We don't need to get too close. But, you might as well. get a little closer for 12 meters per second. Delta V. Node in 3 minutes. I'm not sure this is really the optimal place to do our correction burn, but well, it's fine. So just like warp here. Node in 40 seconds. You know what? Warp even closer. There we go. And, you know, that's good enough for now. As long as we're encountering Duna, I'm fairly happy. So we can go ahead and quick save. And where is our research station? Let's switch over here for a minute and just empty our labs. Not a ton of science, but a little bit. 19 here. Might as well transmit. Can we get any more data? Maybe these materials base. I guess we've already transmitted that. Okay, everything's full of data. That's fine. Okay, let's head back to the Space Center here and just check our contracts, see if we have anything new that's interesting. Ore from the Mun. I mean, I could do that. It's not very difficult, and it's a lot of reputation or prestige, these stars. But, you know, we were just mining ore from the Mun. I'd kind of like to do something a little bit different. Ore from Minmus. Well, I think we're just going to accomplish this without having to actually do anything. So, sure. Let's take that. And let's head back to our research station. Okay. Well, we have a minor correction coming up. We can just warp to that if I can actually click on our orbit here, which appears to be invisible for whatever reason. Is it this purple line that's supposed to be our orbit? I'm not sure. Oh, okay, there's Kerbin. Come on. Maybe I'll just time warp manually. Okay, I guess that's what I'm doing. So, coming up in 41 days. Doesn't have to be exact on the timing. These small corrections, the exact timing doesn't matter quite as much. So here I am, 2 hours off. Oh well. Let's go ahead and do our burn and then get rid of some more science. Well, not get rid of, transmit some more science. Just get on our target. And here we are. How's our fuel doing? We are still on our first set of tanks here. So we're not even going to have to decouple anything. And you know, I'm 2 or 3 hours off this burn, but it's not that big a deal really. How is our Perry looking now? 3 million? Not too bad. Not too bad. So let's go ahead and transmit this science here at times 10. Just make sure we don't run out of electric charge. And transmit science. Time warp. Another 428. And transmit science. for another 482. Relatively easy to get science when you have research labs going, of course. Well, we can do some more experiments now. Just aim the camera here. See what we can do. Done all of that. Done all of that. We can process this though. And we can process a materials bay. And this too. And just clean experiments. Can we do a crew report maybe? Maybe an EVA report. Is that enough to keep our labs full? How's our data looking? 662. Most of them are over 700. Maybe one more EVA report here. There we go. Another 20 data. And let's see if we have maybe something stored in this. Process. Oh, can't it? Labs are full of data, okay. Process this. Labs are full of data. Okay, everything is full of data. There we go. So we'll want to come back in another 40 days or so. And we can just quick save. Do we want to do another correction burn here? I'm not sure. I mean, we could. Let's set one up at another like 40 days from now. Just check our... Actually, I guess I need to start over here. Maneuver in 36 days, another 42 days. So just check our parry here. That's bringing it up. That's down to 1 million, it looks like. There we go. 600,000. Just a 0.3 meter per second burn. And maybe we can do one on our ore hauler too. Just a tiny little correction burn. Just add a maneuver real close, and we can go ahead and do that. So if we pin our parry here, you can see it's 28 million. That's bringing it down. 22 million, 21, 20, and now it's going up again. How about radial? That's bringing it up. That's also... Okay, that's bringing it down. So 19 million, 16 million, 15, 14, 13, 10, 9, 8. Yeah, we're going to get very close here. Actually. Under a million now. And that should be plenty good. Just a 19 meter per second burn. No reason to try and get it perfect all in one burn. Yeah, maybe I should have explained stuff like burning at the parry sooner. It's called the Oberth effect, of course, but what's in a name, really? I really forget that stuff is worth explaining sometimes. I don't really, think about all the stuff involved. I like to relax when I'm playing games, I don't want to spend all my mental energy on a game. I want to, just relax. Well, let's switch to our station here and just time warp to our next maneuver, I guess. In another 42 days. One thing with these interplanetary missions is you can start doing time warp so long that it takes a lot of real time, even at your maximum warp speeds, which is a bit annoying. I think the maximum warp is set by basically computational limits. Like the game wants to make sure it can simulate all the stuff that's going on. Well, let's do our 0.3 meter per second burn here. And we can dump out the data again. Transmit everything. Maybe I should limit the engines a little bit. Well, that's good enough, isn't it? Our parry is below 1 million. Below 1 million meters. So that's not bad. Okay, well, let's transmit everything. And just time warp a bit. Okay. Transmit. How's our charge? Charge is okay. And transmit. Okay. Everything is transmitted. We can load some more of our stored data that we have. Everything's full of data now. Okay, very good. And I think we can go back to the Space Center and just check our contracts again. Or from the Mun to Kerbin. Test the atomic rocket motor coming out of Minmus. New station out of Minmus. I'd kind of like to get at least 1 million or so at this point. I mean, for less than 1 million, is it really worth launching an entirely new craft? I guess there's nothing too incredibly appealing here. Plant flag on the Mun. I mean, that's probably something we'll end up doing at some point, but nothing we need to take, really. So, back to our station, and I guess we can warp another 40 days or so. Since we don't need to do any corrections, we can just do that from here. So we want to warp until about day 85 or so. And that's good enough. So let's just transmit all our science yet again. Sorry if this is getting repetitive. What can I say? This is probably the most time-efficient way to get science in Kerbal Space Program. You know, I think the money mechanic is more interesting than the science mechanic. But there's no money-only mode. There's science only. And science was the first thing. They added costs later, and it took them a little while to balance everything out. Okay, there we go. So let's see if we can load these up again. Alright, that's done. Are we done with these two? No, we are not. We can get some more data out of these. And just go back to our storage unit. Okay, everything's full of data. Very good. Clean experiments, maybe. 710 data, 740. Yeah, we're fine. Everything is pretty good here. So, if we go back to the Space Center, let's see how much science we have at this point. 7,500. Okay, not too bad. Let's go ahead and warp forward another 40 days or so. So we're at 85. We want about 425, 430 maybe. I'll just stop when it hits 25. There we go. And once again we go back to our research station. I might quick save here. So once again, transmit all our science. And transmit this science too. And transmit this science. Okay. And just time warp for a little more electricity, maybe. There we go. And see if there's anything else we can process. Were we done with this finally? Yeah, we were. Okay. Review our stored data, process. Trash, I guess. Or no. Yeah, everything is full of data, apparently. Or no, that was just too much data right now. We can fit something in there. We must have already... No, that makes no sense. We should be able to process a surface sample somewhere. Maybe this. And maybe another EVA report. These EVA reports are a little bit inconvenient, I suppose. Yeah, we've finished the gravity scans. No biomes of Kerbal, the sun here, I'm afraid. But, you know, that's okay. And in the meantime, we're already up to another 1 science, basically, in the labs. So, we are getting relatively close to Duna now. If we check our peri, we are at, 500,000 meters. I might just wait until we get into the sphere of influence to fix that. If we go to our ore hauler, what was our peri at here? 1.4 million. Well, we can do a little bit of a correction on that. Let's see what brings it down. It's 1 million. There we go. 1 million. It's going up again. How about this? That's bringing it up. Does this bring it down? No, we were about right. How about radial? That's bringing it up. This might be a little bit too early to do these corrections. I do like to do them early, but this might be a little optimistic. I did just want to get it below 1 million. And there we go. There we go. We had it below 600,000 there. So this is just a 0.4 meter per second burn. Might as well do our 2-day time warp to it, I guess. Although it really doesn't make that much difference. Oh, still time warping. So, here we go. 0.4 meters per second. Good enough. Good enough. Just as long as our parry is below 1 million, I'm pretty happy. So, let's just time warp a little bit, I guess, to maybe 300 days. Well, I'll go back to the tracking station, actually. And we are on year 2, day 2. Well, okay. Just going up to about day 40. And you can see Duna is getting very close now. Yeah, we might start... our ore hauler is ahead. Research station is behind. We might start following our spacecraft instead. Just make sure we don't miss our encounter here. So, the parry is in 121 days. Okay, that's plenty of time, actually. And our parry on the ore hauler is in 150 days. Okay. Well, I guess I was getting worried prematurely. We still have plenty of time. So, maximum time warp. Up to there or so. How's our science doing? Well, we can go ahead and transmit. There we go. And transmit this. And transmit this as well. Okay. And once again back to our experiment storage process. Process, everything's full of data. Did we have anything smaller? Apparently not. Well, we're starting to actually run low on data. By low, I mean we have 600 and not enough to refill our labs. But oh well, that's not exactly extremely low. So I time warp another 40 days, I guess. Maybe to about 400 days in here. Okay. And transmit science again. Okay. Transmit science. Another 400. And transmit science for another 440. And can we process this now? Yep. We already did all the crew reports we can, I guess. all the mystery goos, and probably all the material bay experiments we can do too. Yep. So we've pretty much used up all our stored stuff. So Perry is in 54 days. Duna encounter is in 52 days. Okay. Well, we can actually go ahead and warp to our Duna encounter. Just zoom in here. And it conveniently slows down. It conveniently slows down as you change your sphere of influence. So as usual, we want to burn retrograde at our Perry. I could get us a little bit closer if I wanted to. We just pin the Perry here. You can see bringing it down to like 100,000. We can even go lower to like, what's the atmosphere? I think it's 40. Let's just be safe and go with 80 though. 80 kilometers. We can just do this tiny 12 meter per second burn sideways to lower our Perry. And then that'll make our capture burn a little bit more efficient. Okay. 190, 86, 79. Okay. Well, that's fine. So, next we will want to burn at this Perry. Just burn retrograde until we're in a stable orbit. It can be elliptical. And, you know, that's fine for now. If it's just 10 million or so, I don't know. So that's going to be a 433 meter per second burn. Let's just go ahead and get on our target and time warp to our maneuver. There might actually be some science we can do too. Okay. There's our target. And now that we're in Duna's sphere of influence, we can do some more science. Like a gravity scan. Transmit that, I guess. Just wait for our transmit to finish. And process. Just keeping an eye on our electric charge here. And reset. And then temperature, we transmit and process. And barometer, same thing. And everything is full of data. And mystery goo. Transmit. And we can just store this other one in our experiment storage. So transmit and keep experiment and just collect everything. And then we want to go ahead and clean experiments and transmit the rest of our lab data. I'm using the hard time warp to do the experiment cleaning, which is now done, I believe. Oh, we ran out of electric charge. Well, we can fix that with a little bit of time warping. There we go. And this one is actually full at 500 of 500 science. And now we can finish our upload. Yep. And we can do a crew report, transmit. Can we process that? Yes, we can. Everything's full of data. Collect everything. Okay. And just quick save. And next up we can do our capture burn. So just warp here. We are on our target. Nope. And we can bring that closer to our parry actually. Make it a little more efficient. And just warp here. It's warping kind of slowly since we're close to a planet, but you know, that's okay. Burn in 2 minutes. Okay, let's get burning. And just follow the retrograde. And wait until we are in a stable orbit. It's going to be a long burn, so I guess I'll time warp a bit. Not too much, just a little bit. And here is Duna. We're flying over the pole here. You can see it's all white. Might as well transmit some science while we're doing this. Yep. Maybe I should install a texture pack or something, I don't know. And we're almost done with our capture burn. Or rather, we are done, we're just... Well, this is fine. What's our APO? 4.4 million? That is completely fine. And here we are at Duna. Which of course means more science. Which we can transmit and process. Except we can't process because our labs are full. Of course. Maybe we can do that. Nope. And mystery goo. And materials bay. And a crew report. And an EVA report, I suppose. Which we can then transmit. And another gravity scan. Oh no, it's the same location. But that's okay. Now since we have this highly elliptical orbit, we can easily change our inclination. But we're already in a fairly polar orbit. I might get us into a completely polar orbit just to make sure we can go over every biome, but you know, this is fine and our labs are all fully stocked on data. We have plenty more we can add. So, you know, we don't need to worry about that, at least right now. And as for how our fuel is doing, we are still on our first set of tanks. Our first pair of 3 tanks. So that's all perfectly fine. If we go back to our space center, we can see we have 13,000 science, and we are up to 11 million check marks, or whatever. Is it checks? Because we fulfilled our station contract for Duna. Where is it? Explore Duna, gather scientific data from Duna, and build a new orbital station around Duna. We completed both of those. Alright. And now, I think I'd like to end the episode with a little bit of mass unlocking, mass upgrading. So, upgrade tracking station. This is fully upgraded. Upgrade assembly building, fully upgraded. Mission control, fully upgraded. Spaceplane hangar, upgrade. Runway, upgrade. Astronaut complex is already fully upgraded. And administration building, I mean, I never use it, but sure. Let's upgrade it anyway. And as for the research, propulsion systems, unlock, precision propulsion, nuclear propulsion, specialized construction, advanced aerodynamics, command modules, precision engineering, unmanned tech, heavy landing, heavy aerodynamics, composites, advanced metalworks, large volume containment, very heavy rocketry, high performance fuel systems, metamaterials, hypersonic flight, experimental aerodynamics, advanced motors, ion propulsion, advanced unmanned tech, automation, specialized electrics, large probes, aerospace tech for these Rapier engines, and experimental electrics. There we go. The tech tree is fully unlocked, and all of our buildings are fully upgraded. So we are now basically in the end game. We are in sandbox mode. It feels good. Feels good. Alright. I think I'll end the episode here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.